To Michael Fleming of St. Clair CDC, and the question is St. Clair CDC has undertaken a master planning process with the Asiatown community. Could you provide some key points or highlights from the initial phase, and what else to expect in the coming years?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. The Asiatown master plan is a response to a number of factors. It really first started out with the recognition that there is an Asiatown here in Cleveland, and you can see on the map here it's posted that it runs roughly between East 30th and East 40th from Perkins up to St. Clair, with a couple outliers at Rockwell and a little bit further up 40th to encompass this fine center. A little over 5 years, we as an organization took to branding that neighborhood, which I think is a really key moment for it in the mind of the public. We did it through the Asiatown Cleveland website. We also did it through an actual logo creation, which I thought was pretty clever. And since then, I think that people throughout Greater Cleveland have finally started to recognize that there is an Asiatown here. And in fact, more so than they recognize it, they say their superior is here. And that's pretty telling. So the other thing that you're starting to see is more restaurants are opening up, which is, some people would say, hey, you're going to be taking from other restaurants that are already there, and that doesn't seem to be the case. We just had 2 restaurants open in the last month alone. The Szechuan Gourmet and Emperor's Palace. And we've also seen clustering of restaurants. And if you go over onto Superior Avenue, within just 2 blocks in there are 3 separate restaurants that are all specializing in Vietnamese noodle soup. And we're actually calling it Pho Row. And I want to apologize. I do know that pho is a mispronunciation of the soup's real name, but this is how marketing works. So. Branding aside, until now there was only anecdotal evidence that we had that the area was growing. And it's been very hard for us to prove that it's growing because it's in 7 separate census tracts. And those census tracts actually changed between 2010 and the 2000 census. But the evidence that we do see is that there's, number one, very low vacancy rates in Asiatown. There's some of the lowest foreclosure rates in the region. And in fact, it is the City of Cleveland's own master plan calls for additional growth in Asiatown despite lower expectations for virtually every community throughout the rest of Cleveland, with the exception of downtown and University Circle. So, going forward, actually this demographic study on Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders in the Midwest really bears out our planning and strategy for growth in this neighborhood. As Marita said just a moment ago, that within the Midwest there's been 47% growth within that decade. In the Cleveland area there's 42% growth, the highest of any racial group. And this is important because historically Chinatowns throughout the United States serve as a place that Asian immigrants go to first before they finally settle in the area. And once they are settled in the area, the Chinatown in that city will act as a central business district for the Chinese community or Asian community at large. And so because of that, we are predicting additional growth, both in our Asiatown and obviously as a result of the Asian community's growth in the region. So this is what makes this Asiatown planning process so vital. But I think from a timing perspective, one of the key elements and I want to thank because he's right here, but Councilman Jeff Johnson's support for this plan has been abundant, and he's been really, really driving the process. So I wanted to give a